This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be checking out Heat by Poolside.
And Purple Rain, the Deluxe Expanded Edition from Prince.
Hey there, welcome to Music Worth Buying. My name is TJR. I'm a musician and music writer.
And my name is Robert Kinsler, and I'm a music writer and a musician.
You certainly are. And we are here to discuss albums that we're excited about, that we want to share with each other and share with you. And I'm going to start off with an album entitled Heat by an LA duo called Poolside. Now, this is a self-released album, and they are a Los Angeles-based duo featuring Philip, and hopefully I say this right, it's either Philip or Philippe Nikolic, who is a producer, DJ, and multi-instrumentalist, and DJ Jeffrey Paradise. They describe their music as daytime disco. This is their second full-length album, and it is my first exposure to their music. What really, for me, identifies this band's sound is just how Southern California they sound for a band that refers to their music as daytime disco, if you can picture that. And so I'm going to play a song here from the album for you here, and then talk a little bit more about it. This song is called Which Way to Paradise.
You know, my first listen, my introduction, just love it. The closest thing that my mind gets around this is maybe kind of something like 07.
Okay, but I'm not familiar with 07.
Yeah, 07. I saw them at a KCRW, like kind of World Music Festival. But it's kind of like I'm hearing, you know, cool dance elements, even some things like Euro or Brazilian jazz or something a little bit in there. But I just love it. It just makes you feel great, you know?
It makes me immediately want to get up and dance. But what do you think of this description? This is their own description, daytime disco.
Okay, love that terminology, that phrase.
I would say because it's not like, if there is such a thing, if say regular disco is nighttime disco, then I have to assume that's the case. If this is daytime disco, then what we're used to hearing as what we would normally define as disco must be nighttime disco. It's not oppressively in your face, beating you over the head. That's why I mentioned Southern California, because there is this very laid-back vibe to it. As much as it makes you want to dance, it's very laid-back. It takes about 42 seconds for the bass line to even kick in.
Wow.
And then it takes about a minute or so before the vocal even kicks in.
So it's just kind of easing you into the song.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see them playing like when I get to Coachella, typically early, it's very oppressively hot. And there are I could see a band like this going on in one of the tents. People are just kind of laid back in the grass, and they're kind of moving to the music and stuff. But there's a cool, like you said, a Southern California kind of like the summer sun kind of vibe. And it's very, you know, I'm very excited to hear the rest of the album. I really like that, what I'm hearing.
But I still feel like I could dance in a club.
Oh, yeah.
If I went to clubs anymore.
Yeah. I haven't done that for a while either. But but no, it's very cool. I could see people really digging this.
Yeah. Now, you may notice I haven't held up a picture of the album yet. Normally I'm doing that already. The reason is because, as far as I can tell, there is no physical album. I did search for this album on Amazon. I did try to find a physical copy. I couldn't find anything. It's, as far as I know, it's only available digitally. So, I mean, you can stream it, of course, on, you know, Tidal, Spotify, and Apple Music. You can purchase it digitally at Amazon. I'm sure you can purchase it digitally at iTunes. I haven't really looked there, but I did see it on Amazon. So there's no physical album. This is a self-released album, and I realize that for a lot of new music acts, that's the only financially feasible thing they can do. They can't put out a physical album because it just doesn't make financial sense. You can only put it out digitally. So check it out there. I have no packaging to talk to you about for that reason. One other thing I wanted to bring up about this group I immediately, as I was listening to it, wanted to pull out my guitar and start improvising guitar solos to this music. And the first time I didn't do that because I felt I need to listen to this, of course, and keep, exploring it. But in later listens, I have done just that.
Oh,
I have
really?
pulled out my
That's
guitar and
cool.
just started jamming to it,
Uh-huh.
which I've needed to do because I am rusty now that I don't really play 3 or 4 nights a week like I used to. Back when we first started doing this
Yeah.
show, I was gigging all the time. These days, I'm hardly gigging at all, so I really need the practice. This is certainly album I think is going to help facilitate
Yeah.
that. I'm curious, any other guitar players out there who've listened to this, if you're a lead guitarist, has this album made you want to pull out your guitar and start jamming? It has for me.
That's cool.
So I give the album thumbs up for that as well.
So it's an inspiring. Not only is it a great listen, it's an inspiring.
It's an inspiring listen. Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
me want to play my guitar and jam to it.
Cool.
And so, anyways, though, this album is mostly vocals. The opening track was instrumental. In fact, the opening track entitled "Hot in the Shade," to me, actually sounded like a modern electronic reworking of I'm going to say this, a lost Johnny Santo and Johnny song, if you can picture that. We're not going to play that one because I want to play another track with vocals. I'm going to play a track here that is called "Feel Alright." Hope you like it.
Take a little sip, have a little trip, but don't you know we're going nowhere? But I'm feeling like I feel right.
If I ever go on a cruise, I want to listen to this music when I'm moving around on the boat. I mean,
Okay.
under the summer sun in the Mediterranean or something. This is just cool music. I just really, there's just a cool sound of it. I mean, I don't necessarily even know what they're singing about yet. I haven't had time to spend with the album, but boy, does the music and the beats and the rhythm just, it just makes you feel great.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I have tried to decipher what they're singing about in the lyrics. I have read, in doing research on them, that they are positive themed lyrics, but aside from maybe catching the chorus, this song was called "Feel Alright." Feel alright. I can hear him say, "Feel alright." I can make out that part.
I could too.
But by and large, I can't make out what they're singing about. The lyrics have a nice, pleasant quality. The lyrics, the vocals have a nice, pleasant quality. The kind of soft, almost shimmering sound to the vocals, I think, is very pleasant. But I'm having a hard time hearing what they're saying. But I'm not caring because everything is working so well together. The harmony of the music, the beats, the melody lines, the little electronic textures here and there. It's all working so well together that it doesn't seem to matter to me. I'm just kind of like experiencing the whole rush of the music just hitting me, irregardless of what's being said.
Yeah.
They could be talking about crackers and cheese for all I know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But-
it just sweeps over you. I mean, there's a real shimmer, a real shine to the music, and it's just, but it's just really it's electronic. There's a lot of modern
But there's
touches
real
on it.
guitar and
but
real
there's
piano,
real guitar.
too.
Yeah, but I was going to say it's really immersed in emotion, though. It really works. Like I said, it's hard to cut through. We hear a lot of music. I mean, I think we both acknowledge that.
Yeah.
This immediately makes an impression, and that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So check these guys out. And now, who have you got for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this up. It's pretty
You
hefty
got
now.
some little known artist.
Yeah, I think a few
think
people
I've
have
heard
probably
of
heard it. This is actually the reissue, and there's a couple different editions, but this is the how do I want to say, deluxe expanded edition of Purple Rain from Prince. And this is a beautiful package. I mean, I know we normally wait till we play you a song, but everybody knows this album. There's 4 discs here. There's 3 audio CDs, and there's a DVD of a legendary 1985 concert that has been remastered, and they've really brushed up both the video look of it and the sound of it, and it looks and sounds really good, considering that they had to work with 30-something-year-old elements, video elements. But this is just great. There's a lot of previously unissued
Material.
material on here.
Okay.
There's also the 2015 Paisley Park remaster of the album itself, and that sounds terrific. I mean, there's so many great tracks on here, it's almost overwhelming what to feature. But what I want to tell people is if you have just the original edition of the album, you may want to trade that in, donate it to friends of the library, and buy this one. And especially if you're a Prince fan, you're going to want the expanded edition. I don't think it's not as expensive as, let's say, the Sgt. Pepper's. The deluxe,
The
the 6-disc one. It's not going to set you back that much money. I don't recall how much I paid for it, but it's not that much. But it's really, well worth it. You're going to delve into the songs here and just love them.
So 4-disc. One, of course, is the DVD.
Right, of the concert.
Okay, and then of course you've got the original album.
Yeah, the original album. Then
2 CDs, I would assume.
exactly,
of bonus tracks.
You're right, and one is called the CD. Number 2 is from the vault and previously unreleased.
Okay.
So there's some real gems here that nobody's ever heard until this came out. And then the 3rd CD is single edits and like B-sides.
Okay.
That came out around that time. And then,
Okay.
like we previously said, the DVD has the concert. And the concert is so exciting and so it just really kind of like a Super Bowl performance. You're just blown away by the power of Prince as a guitarist, a dancer, a singer. He had so much charisma and personality, and that really translates through the concert film. But it translates through the audio here. I mean, the guy was a singularly great talent, and we're very unfortunate that we lost him last year.
Yeah. So I guess the real difficult thing now is what track are you?
I was thinking about it. I go, why don't we? Because people have all heard Little Red Corvette.
Yeah,
we
know the album, hopefully.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? Why don't we play, let's play something and then we'll figure it out here in just a second. But it's going to be one of the unreleased tracks and then we'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cool.
It's written in the sky. Our destiny is to follow. Don't find 'cause it's in your Our destiny is to fall in love.
Now that's from kind of like a mini medley. It's 2 songs. It's called Our Destiny, Roadhouse Garden, and I think what we talked about is actually having you play part of Roadhouse Garden where Prince is the lead vocalist. The original sessions here are obviously tracked by Prince and the Revolution, and just so we give everybody credit, that's Lisa Coleman on keyboards, piano, and vocals, Wendy Melvoin, and hopefully I pronounced her name right, on guitar and vocals, Bobby Z on drums, Dr. Fink, keyboards and vocals, and Brown Mark, bass and vocals. And part of what I wanted to say is many of these members, they reflect very much on these sessions. This is one of the best booklets I've ever seen with this, one of these reissues. It's great.
When you're saying they reflect on these sessions, I want to make this clear. There are interviews. in
There
this
are
booklet
yeah.
with them talking about these sessions. I wanna make sure
Specific
people know
tracks,
that.
yeah. So, for example, where they'll talk about one of the original tracks on the album, on Purple Rain, and then they talk about like, what were the challenges or what they remember about that. And it's really a great look back at the seminal album. Many people consider it Prince's greatest album, and
Certainly his biggest commercial sense.
success, yeah. And this is just a great package. Like I said, you're getting lots of good music in the video, and then also a very nice package with some really cool pictures of Prince and the gang, and just really good.
Earlier, while we were listening, you described this booklet as exhaustive.
Yeah, I would say that's true. Yeah,
Not in a bad way.
Not in a
like
bad
you're
way,
exhausted
yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
it, but in that it gives you a tremendous amount of information.
Yeah, more
As
than
far
I
as
ever knew.
details.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's real. And this is an album I think deserving, and
I would say so, yeah.
of the attention. And
It had a major influence on the culture when it came out, and a major influence on music in general.
I think that's
As
absolutely
did Prince's entire career.
Yeah.
But this album in particular.
this album in particular, yeah. And it's one of these things that got me to and we've talked about this before. Prince, when I think about the artist that had the most impact on me or that I like to listen to the most, it wasn't necessarily Prince. I mean, in the 80s it was Springsteen and U2 for me, and then some smaller bands that aren't as well known like the Smithereens or the Call. But listening to this and immersing myself in this album as I have for the last couple of weeks, I've just been enjoying the heck out of it. Been loving the songs, hearing things for the first time, and just I have a newfound appreciation of his talent and how original he was and dynamic as a performer and a songwriter and all of the above. Times 10. And I've just really been enjoying this, and would encourage everybody to, there's I think a version that has a couple CDs. It has the original album and then the previously unreleased and rare tracks. But if you're a more serious Prince fan, definitely buy this
Go
version.
for the whole enchilada.
Yeah, go for the whole. You said it.
Yeah.
You said it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Of course, I've always loved this album. I've always enjoyed this album for years now, ever since I first heard it back in the 80s. I've always just dug the heck out of it. Watching my language.
Yeah.
Heck. And I have to admit, looking at this physical package here, I love the look of it. The whole kind of silvery effect here. Really, and the photos are just
the photos are just
unbelievable
fantastic.
looking in
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just impressed by the hell out of this. This was not just a cash grab, in my opinion.
No, exactly. And that's one of the things I really want to say, that this is worth, really getting this package. There's so many, this is going to bring you a lot of discovery for more than just a day or two. I mean, this is something, like I said, I've had it 2 weeks and I'm loving it as much as when I first got it,
Are we going to hear something else?
We are. Let's play another one of the songs, because everybody's heard the hits. We've already covered that. So let's listen to Father's Song, and then we can talk a little bit about that one.
Absolutely. Okay, that was Father's Song. That's the first time I've heard that. That was just gorgeous.
Yeah, it is, and it's not even composed by Prince. It's composed by, and we'll read the John L. Nelson. But what blows me away, just there's so much feeling in the piano playing. I mean, it's obviously not, it's not like Chopin or something like that. But that and the layers, and Prince is listed as a sole performer on this. It's just beautifully rendered.
Yeah, it is.
It catches you off guard, especially after having watched the concert film. He's this really dynamic guy. I mean, there's one song he slides down a pole with his guitar. I mean, but this shows you that his artistic expanse. Kind of like when you talk about something like the Beatles or Bowie. He was definitely the furthest thing from a one-dimensional artist.
Absolutely.
And this. Just a great track. I mean, just really puts you in a certain mood, and just beautiful.
I thought it was a beautiful piece. It's a piano piece with some electronic textures. Is the best way I would describe it. And when it first opened, I thought to myself, well, if this turns out to be an instrumental, let me say this, I was expecting lyrics at first. I was just assuming there would be lyrics, and I thought I could listen to this as just an instrumental. And of course, it is an instrumental, as it turns out. I wasn't prepared for that, but it was. Yeah, it's wonderful.
It is wonderful. Yeah, just love it. And one of many great surprises and treats on this collection. And like I said, it is called the Deluxe Expanded Edition.
Four-disc version.
The 4-disc version. So, and you'll know it because it is a little bit thicker. Obviously, I think you can even see it if I get it up by the camera. But yeah, it's really well worth getting. And if you're a Prince fan, you may very well already have it.
It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But it sounds to me like this would be good even for the person who's like, yeah, I'm casually familiar with Prince. I like Purple Rain album because everybody bought that album. Everybody knows that album. It feels like this should be a good recommendation even for the casual fan who really wants to start digging deeper.
Yeah, because the singles on here and some of the previously unreleased stuff and the rarities are just fantastic. I mean, there's just some great, even the stuff I had never heard before. It's right up there with the singles that everybody knows, So just a fantastic collection, and I can't say enough good things about it. And one thing I wanted to perhaps mention is that when this came out, and I'm going to just go ahead and read it. It said it recently captured the #1 spot on the top soundtrack albums chart, and the top spot on the top vinyl albums chart, and it returned to the top 5 of the Billboard Top 200. So, it just shows
That's
about
now.
Yeah, that's now. So it
This
just
came out.
shows you about the enduring power of great music, and these just recordings are timeless. The songs that
Absolutely.
make up Purple Rain, definitely.
So you get to hold that up. I
Okay.
unfortunately don't have a cover I can hold up for Poolside. But have you heard these albums? What do you think? Please let us know. And hopefully you've liked what little you've heard and you're intrigued to hear more. And until next time, my name is TJR. You can check out my music at tjrmusic.com and my other videos here on the channel.
My name is Robert Kinsler, and of course you can check out musicworthbuying.com to check out kind of my posts, album reviews,
Concert reviews.
concert reviews, and
All
everything.
your writings,
Yeah,
yes.
so you can check that out, and we appreciate you, watching, and look forward to your comments and reviews.
Please subscribe to the channel. We'll see you soon.
See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye.